Deep in the Thar Desert of Rajasthan, the sun bleaches the remains of a village that hasn't seen a permanent resident in 2 centuries. This is Kuldhara, a sprawling grid of sandstone skeletons reclaimed by the sand. While it is an official monument protected by the Archaeological Survey of India, the state treats this site with a unique level of caution. Every evening at 6 p.m., the heavy iron gates are locked, and all visitors are barred from the premises until sunrise. Tourists and local guards justify this lockdown with accounts of sudden, bone-chilling temperature drops in the desert heat and the sound of phantom footsteps echoing through the empty alleys. Some even claim to hear the faint, rhythmic ringing of bells from the village's centerpiece temple. These claims drew the attention of India's most famous paranormal investigator, Gaurav Tiwari. During his 2016 investigation, he reported capturing moving shadows on camera and claimed his electronic equipment detected the presence of dozens of distinct entities still lingering in the ruins. The mystery surrounding the village deepened just 1 week after that final visit, when Tiwari was found dead in his home under mysterious circumstances. Kuldhara served as the administrative and economic hub for a network of 84 interconnected villages. The fact that an entire regional civilization of this scale could vanish and stay empty for 200 years suggests a cause far more absolute than a simple relocation. This map of historical Hindustan shows the strategic importance of the western frontier. In the 13th century, the Paliwal Brahmins settled here, establishing themselves as elite agricultural engineers and traders, positioned directly along the lucrative Silk Route. They used their wealth to master the desert, building a sophisticated system of stepwells and canals that tapped into hidden groundwater. This allowed them to harvest wheat and grain from a landscape that had previously been written off as a barren wasteland. By the 1800s, this prosperity caught the eye of Salim Singh, the state's powerful prime minister. Known to the locals as Salim, or the Cruel, he began imposing predatory taxes on villages to fund his own lavish lifestyle and architectural projects in Jaisalmer. According to local folklore, Singh's greed eventually turned personal. He demanded to marry the chief's daughter, threatening to raze all 84 villages to the ground if she wasn't delivered to him by the following full moon. Facing the choice between their daughter's life and their entire civilization, the Paliwals chose a secret, coordinated exit. In a single night in 1825, the residents of every village loaded their carts, doused their hearths, and crossed the border into history. Legend says they left behind a final, chilling decree that anyone who ever attempted to spend a night within the walls of Kuldhara would be met with ruin and death. It's a powerful narrative of honor and defiance. But when we look closely at the physical ruins today, the story written in the sandstone contradicts the idea of an orderly, peaceful departure. Modern geological surveys and archaeological digs at the site have recently shifted the focus from ghosts to the ground itself. Researchers found that the ruins don't show the wear of simple abandonment. They found a consistent pattern of snapped stone columns, beams that had been thrown from sockets, and roof slabs that had collapsed inward simultaneously. This diagram illustrates the upward thrust of a seismic event. Kuldhara is built over a series of active fault lines. This structural damage is a physical record of a massive earthquake that likely struck the region during the height of its prosperity. Geological evidence suggests the population dealt with a sequence of successive shocks over several years. Each tremor would have further weakened the dry stone masonry, eventually making homes too dangerous to inhabit. This tectonic instability coincided with an environmental catastrophe. The Cockney River, which functioned as the village's primary water source, began to dry up due to shifting underground aquifers, triggering a severe, multi-decade drought. Between the constant tremors, the loss of their river, and the predatory taxes, the Paliwals weren't just fleeing a ghost story. They were escaping a total systemic collapse of their environmental and economic lifeblood. The evidence tells us the overnight disappearance was actually a gradual, painful migration, a proud society forced to abandon their home piece by piece as the desert became uninhabitable. Over time, the complex reality of shifting fault lines and drying riverbeds was distilled into the personified legend of Salim Singh. The curse became a shorthand for a century of environmental hardship that was too large for oral history to hold. Today, the ruins remain empty for the same practical reasons the Paliwals left. The water is gone, and the ground remains seismically unstable. No magic is required to keep a village empty when it can no longer support life. But that instability is now a commodity. Local guides and the government actively lean into the haunted reputation because it fuels a lucrative niche in ghost tourism. Film crews regularly rent the site, using the legend to add production value to horror movies and supernatural thrillers. This modern industry effectively converts the historical trauma of a displaced community into entertainment, prioritizing the thrill of a haunting over the reality of the disaster. Kuldhara's true ghost is the memory of a prosperous society that was simply erased by nature. It remains a ghost town today only because humanity finds a curse much more